Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday Live. My name is Ashley Hay, and today we are going to be exploring liquid power and actually creating some beautiful crackle effects in our artwork with this incredibly vibrant medium, which is just gorgeous to use. So if you haven't tried this product yet in your artwork, it is just really great to use. If you love colour, you will love liquid power. So if you're here, of course, I'd love it if you just drop a comment to me and let me know that you're here. It's always lovely to see who's here and know that I'm not talking to myself. And what I really hope for you today is that you are just inspired to create over the weekend, and that something that I say just excites you so much and that you really, really enjoy creating this weekend. So good morning, Denise, welcome. So Denise has the happy scruffy bug down at Harvey down there, and she will be stocking Powertex and also running some classes very soon. So lovely to have you on. If you are watching in replay, it's always lovely as well to please say hello, let me know where you're from, let me know you're watching, and if you've got any questions, of course, the whole idea is for you to ask them along the way. So let's get cracking. So of course, last week was an introduction to liquid power. So I did tell you quite a little bit about the liquid powers and how they work. So if you did miss that one, make sure you go back and have a look, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. But today we are actually going to have a little look and see what I did last week, and then we'll carry on from that. So this will give you a sneaky peek if you haven't seen it already. And so this is my art table. So you can see that the colours are just really vibrant and really lovely. So this this piece actually, it looks quite nice. So probably even nicer than it does in the photo. So I'm going to leave this one as a sample because it is a really good sample to see the colours of the liquid powers. So okay, I'll just pop the art table onto there so that you can see the art table and not me. Much more interesting. Okay, so that's that. So that's what I actually did last week. And then today what we're going to have a look at doing is we're going to have a look at creating these really beautiful crackle effects. And you can get a whole range of effects. So if you've used Vista and you know and love Vista from Powertex Art Supplies, you can basically use the liquid powers in the same way, but the effects that you can get are just absolutely gorgeous. So you can see how there's some small crackle, some larger crackle, and you can see how there's also some texture going through there. So for this one, again, this is just a sample piece that I have that I show people, but you get some really lovely surprises when you actually use different colours in the Powertex range as well. And what happens is as the colours are drying, sometimes the colours actually pop through in the cracks. So you can get some really gorgeous subtlety. And of course, the idea is to play, experiment, and find what you love and what you like to do with the medium. And then from there, it becomes part of your visual language that you can then bring into your artwork. So it just means that, you know, you can really just discover what you can do. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is how to do that. And I'll show you another one as well that I've got sitting here too. And so you can see how, you know, that's got some areas which are a bit quieter, although it's all very vibrant. So you'd want to take some neutral greys into a composition like this, because your neutral greys will actually make your colour pop more. So that's where it's actually really nice to tone some areas down and have some areas where it is actually a little bit quieter so that your eye knows where to look and where to focus. And that's where using something like the Power Wax, you could actually use the Power Wax and some Vista and even a little bit of liquid power in it and actually bring it over the top of some of the liquid powers. Now, if you want to make sure that the surface is fixed before you do that, then it would be really important to seal the surface. And what I recommend is spraying it with some Powertex, which is new to Australia. And you simply dilute 5 grams of Powertex to 100 mils of water, and I will show you that at some stage. So, and then it acts like a spray varnish. So it is actually quite useful. And as well as that, you can actually spray it on while you're working with your Vista and your liquid powers. But I really highly recommend testing and playing because it will actually fix, and then you won't be able to wipe it back. Okay, so I've got a couple of surfaces here that I thought I'd have a play on and show you what is possible. So I've got one where this is just a bit of some drawing, and then I have actually torn the drawings up and collaged them onto the piece. So I thought it might be quite nice to take a bit of colour through maybe the centre area here and see how that looks. Or I could take some texture on through there. Or I could actually just crackle the whole lot, and then I could take another layer over the top. I might do that. So we'll start with this one, and we'll grab a little bit of Powertex to get started. So I am using Ivory Powertex, and I'm just going to pour it straight onto here. Now, this surface is actually quite absorbent, this one here, because it just is. So, and I haven't sealed it with the Powertex at all. So I'm just going to put, what I want to do is I want to have some areas where it's thinner. And of course, where the Powertex is actually thinner, I'll get some smaller cracks. And then where the Powertex is thicker, I will get some larger cracks. So it is pretty warm here today. So you can never see white on white very well, but you will see how this goes once we actually pop the liquid power onto it. Now, of course, I could do these textured areas too, but we'll just spray on in through there. And I might actually pop some on here, so I'll use that like a palette. And then we can actually take some onto some of this texture that's here. I'm just going to go in with my finger with a bit of it. Now, it's going to be pretty crazy Crackle because I have, put a lot of the ivory down. So the thing with the Crackle effect, like I say, is that you actually probably want to manage how much Crackle you do in your piece and just make a decision around that. Because there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. So, hey, Denise, so just wondering if you are keen to get your hands on some liquid power and start playing with that. Of course, you've got some lovely bits coming to play with your lady in rags. Let me know you're here. I would love to see who's actually here on with me. And I'm just putting a bit more so that I've got a bit of a thicker area in here. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so then we can just get some of our liquid powers, and I am going to use, I'll use some blue and some purple and some green. Actually, thought that was the green, the blue, but never mind. And I'll take a bit of water onto here. So this is where you could actually use your Powertex. So you could use your Powertex on here when you're doing this watery layer, and it will sort of fix everything. But you just have to be a little bit careful with it because it will, like I say, really fix. Big puddle of water there. I'll just let that one drip down a little. Oops, not the colour I wanted. Okay, let's have a look and see how that goes. Now, the other nice thing is actually taking some white on it, but we'll do this layer first, and then we can always add some more onto it if we want to. So it is always a bit of a surprise. You never know quite what you're going to get. So see these bits here, I would probably just reactivate those with a little bit of water. Generally, I quite like my drippy bits. But if you don't like them, you can just literally rub them back like you can see I'm doing here. And you can see that it just gets rid of those marks. Don't want to get rid of my nice bits that I've got happening, and just make it a little bit softer. Okay, so then I could dry that off again, and I can do more than one layer, so I don't have to stop at one layer. I can just keep layering up until I'm really happy with the result. So you can see here where the Powertex was actually thicker, that you've got some big cracks, and then down where it was thinner, you've got some smaller cracks. And I'm actually loving some of the effects on this textural area in here. It's still, it's quite, I might just actually allow that to move around a little bit. Okay, we'll let it rest there. So I'm actually really, I love how you get these beautiful surprises. The serendipity of things unplanned is always really, really nice. And so depending on how soft or strong you like your colour, you can actually play around with that. So I could actually put some white. Oh, it's not spraying very well, never mind. Oh, there we go. Oh. And we can see what happens. So you can see, you can just play. So I could actually let that dry naturally, or I could dry it with the hairdryer. Denise, can you just let me know that you can hear me? I want to make sure I've actually got some sound. Yeah, that would be terrific. So hopefully everyone can hear me, and it's all good. So see now how this is actually getting more interesting now that we've got more than one layer. So you can, like I say, actually play with layers, and I can actually dry that off afterwards if I want to, or I can just, like I say, let it dry quite naturally like that. So what I want to do is I want those drips to sort of go where I want them to go. So you just sort of move them backwards and forwards until you're happy. So with that one, I'd probably just let that dry off and then see how it cracks, or I might even play with the hairdryer again on it. So that's one. So we'll shift that one out of the way. And then we'll do something on this one. Now, the thing is that you can actually, you don't have to use just the liquid powers on their own. So if you love Vista, which those of you who know me know how much I love Vista, you will... Donna's just saying, yes, I hear you all the way up here in Canada. So for some reason, I'm not getting my feed through on my little... on my other machine. So yeah, sorry, I haven't seen anyone's comments. I just saw Denise pop in. Nina's here, Carol's here, Nicole's here, Donna, lovely. Thanks for joining me, everyone. And I've got some other people, James and Robin. Oh, the sound has dropped out. Oh, the sound dropped out because I turned it off when I was doing the hairdryer. I think I just thought it all got a bit much. So it was a bit annoying, I thought. Alrighty, let's play some more. I'm glad I can see everyone's comments now. So if you have any questions, be sure to ask. And so now I'm just going to take some of this into some of this. Again, you can't see it very well because it's white on white. I don't want to fiddle around too much. I do love this bottom bit here, so I don't want to go too much on it, but it doesn't matter because I can always do it again, or I can change it up. So that's the great thing. I think a lot of people are actually scared to just play. And Denise is just saying no one's commenting because you're all busy listening. So that's good. So hopefully we all learn something today. And like I say, the whole point of me being here is I really just want to inspire you to create. Now, remember what I said at the beginning? I could have made the decision to just actually just do some crackle in through this area here. I could also actually collage entirely over my piece, and I could also use some transparent in here, but of course I'm going to use some Vista, which I love Vista. Now I am liking this one a bit, and I don't really want to get brown on there, so I'm just going to move these. These are actually some samples that I've done since a few weeks ago when I showed you the new colours that are now available in Australia. So remind me to tell you about those at the end, because I think you can just see them a bit more clearly now than you could when I showed you. I'm just looking for my cloth here, throwing them down on the floor. Very handy. Okay. Alrighty, so now we get to play. Vista, bring it on. Where's my original? Hopefully this one's spraying. Yes. Now I'm going to allow it to go onto some of this here as well. And we'll see what happens. So of course the areas that I haven't put the ivory Powertex on, they will not crack. They'll just go coloured. So I can always take the light back in later. So there we go. Let's just go nuts with that, because you all know how I love my Vista. And of course the Vista comes in a lot of colours as well. Now what you do need to remember with the Vista, the difference between the Vista and the Liquid Power is obviously the Liquid Power is extremely vibrant and beautiful. Whereas the Vistas are more earth tones, and which I actually really like. So they're more earthy. Spraying them on the wet Powertex actually helps to not only make them set, but they're not UV stabilised, your Vistas, whereas your Liquid Powers are UV stabilised. So I'm going to take some mahogany into this one because that'll be a bit of fun. So you can see how that brown Vista actually tones the vibrancy of that colour down a bit. Oops, didn't want to put it there, never mind. Let's see if we can take it away. There we go. And I've now put a splotch on here, so we'll just put a bit more in there. So this is looking a little bit like I've got too much on there. So I'm just going to take some of that off, and I'm going to run it in through some of the rest. Okay, let's see what happens. The great thing is that I can always wipe back the Vista if I'm not happy with it. Look at how nice this is with the Vista. So you can see that it's just toned that colour down. And let's take some yellow into the top section. And I'll take some not a fan of the yellow too much, so we'll get rid of that a bit. And let's put a bit of blue on because we can. Like I say, this would become a layer, and then I can always do like another layer. So this, what do I want to do? A bit more that through there. Okay, let's see what happens, shall we? This is the exciting bit. So this is where I will actually mute you so that you don't get deafened by the I'll just take some more of that blue on there. Okay, let's see what happens. Alrighty. So I will mute you so you won't hear me now. So I haven't quite finished there, but you're probably getting tired of listening to me. Well, not listening to me, listening to the sound of silence and watching me just do that with the hairdryer. So I would actually be putting like more heat on this. So I think one of the differences between the Vista and the Liquid Power is the Liquid Power does take longer to dry off, as you can see. So it does keep doing some really nice things. So it's worth spending the time. So this layer is all a bit the same all over now, but what was nice that happened that I really like is it's followed the mark of that paper tear along that edge where it's got the transition into the oh, I'm losing my words today. Where it's got the transition into the collaged area that I had prepared there, and Nicole's just saying, yes, awesome, demonstrating with a prepared surface. It definitely is nice to see, you know, what you can do. And of course, if this is all a bit too dark, I can just run some water off that, and I can let it drip naturally like I am. So you can see there that it's essentially washing away some of that colour. Or I can actually take like a cloth back into it. So this is a damp cloth. It's pretty wet actually, so I don't want to overdo it. But I can always, you know, do it again. And so I can also, you know, tone some of this back as well. So because it's not fixed and I haven't used the powder fix on it, I can actually wipe some of this back. So it's this is just such an awesome process. If you love mixed media, and you know, you can just do so much with it. So I can be really careful and I can get into some areas really carefully, or I can actually, you know, hit it pretty hard. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to lose the nice areas that I've got happening. So I want to keep the areas that I'm really happy with, but I can really get in there and just give it a little bit of love. I'll just take this right back. So you can see that I could keep working that until I'm happy with how it looks. So what is really important is to have variation in your artwork so that your marks aren't all going the same way. It feels like it's flowing. You've got some areas where the eye can rest, and then you've got some areas that are your focal points. So with your focal points, if you think of photography, that's a really good way of thinking about your composition, because, you know, we all frame up our photographs. So you just need to think about your artwork in the same way, is whether it's actually working. So what I'm doing, dabbing down here, is I've actually got some excess on my cloth from where I rubbed it off, and that I'm just putting back onto some of that other layer there. Now at this point, I'm probably better to just leave it because there's some really nice things happening. But what I would clean up is I would clean up some of this area and just some of how the, I wonder if my brush is dry. I haven't got a big brush here with me. So this is just a dry brush, and I can kind of flick it around. A softer brush would be better. This one's so thin and some Powertex. This one's a bit softer. So while it's wet, I can still move those brush marks around a little. And I can also get some of the excess off the table here and pop it back onto my artwork if I want to as well. And of course, I can, hang on, I'm sliding away here. Of course, I can actually then do another layer if I would like to. So I am loving some of what's happening through here. But what you need to think about is you need to think about the balance, and whether, you know, it's just all too much. So I might want to quieten down some areas, because I've got a very busy area here, and then I've got a very busy area here. And so that's where I would just give it a little bit of thought, and I might go back in with some power wax and some pigments, and give some of it sort of a misty sort of feel. But I am just going to get rid of this white bit over here, because it's really annoying me, and of course it totally wiped off. So what do? I grab my fabulous Vista, and I'll just spray this little corner here again. So don't be scared to do another layer. And you can see what that's done. So it's just sort of given it a really nice quiet edge to that corner. Just see if I can get it to run off. There must be a lip on the surface. I don't want it to go down there, because I'm liking what's happening there, but I'm just going to get my fingers in there. And that should pretty much dry like that if I don't take the hairdryer onto it. The ivory is actually pretty set now though. So I'm just going to darken down those bottom corner edges. So there you go, a couple of layers on that one. And so you can see, look how gorgeous this is. So you imagine just experimenting and playing. So it's wipe on, wipe off. And then, you know, what really needs to happen with this piece is to bring the light back into it, so that it's not just a mid-tone piece. So we've still got some darks. So we want to keep our darks. We want to keep some of these really beautiful textured areas. And then, you know, we want to actually emphasize some of the lights back into the piece. And that is where, you know, if I hadn't just sprayed all of this, I'd have that nice contrast now in the drawing. But of course I did spray it, so I made that choice. And but I could always do another one where I leave the black and white of the drawing, and then, you know, allow the vistas and crackle and things to be around it. So I'm not actually going over the top of that. I could leave it for the second little area. Okay, so there we have it. Vista and Liquid Power Crackle effects, because of course I'm sure you've all used Vista for Crackle if you've been watching me for a while. So we've got this one, which is more muted, earthy tones and earthy colours, and some really interesting things happening on there. So tell me, are you excited? Hey, Renee, lovely to see you on. So Renee's just saying that the tones, she loves the tones and colours that are appearing now as I was working. So yeah, I just love, once you start getting into rubbing it back, you just do get that really beautiful tonal shift. And like I say, then as you bring your work to completion, it's all about working with the light, working with the darks, and not leaving it as just a mid-tone all over. So really working with keeping some quiet areas, some busy areas, points of focus, and getting some really interesting surfaces in here. And this is what I do love about the Powertex. I think with the Powertex Art Supplies, I think you can just do the most amazing textural effects with it. And then once you know how to get some certain effects and you've played, then you can push it into any artwork that you're actually doing. So someone's just saying, I'm so excited, I've just ordered some Liquid Powers. So that's awesome. And so I'll show you the first one that I did for those of you who came on late. So Renee, I imagine you'll like these colours. So I have showed you, that's just got a couple of layers on it. But like I say, you can actually layer it up so much. Look at those textural effects and how the crackle is in there. So if you love Vista and you love colour, you are going to love the Liquid Powers. So I hope that has been very inspiring today. I've enjoyed playing with you, playing along, and I really I love doing Friday Lives because I get to show you guys, share with you some of what I do and play with. And yes, so Renee's saying, yes, I definitely love those colours. So lovely. And yeah, the blue is beautiful, very oceanic. And the blue and the teal together are just awesome. Now, if you are in Australia, I haven't got any blue Liquid Powers at the moment. They will be coming back into stock. I have a new shipment of stock that will be here approximately the end of April. So things are coming back. So it will be here. It's not too long to wait, but there's so many other wonderful products in the range that you can play with in the meantime. So thanks, Nicole. So she's just saying, always excited. Thanks for another informative live. So many tips and tricks. You're a star. How nice is that? Look at that. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, and then just before we finish, of course, if you do some wonderful creations through the week, we would love to see them. So please share your creations on the Powertex Australia Creative Hub. It is a great group. Everyone in there is so friendly and lovely, and it's always lovely to see new work going up. And I especially love seeing things that have been posted from things that I've done on Friday Live. So just if you have done it on Friday Live, make sure you hashtag me. So hashtag Powertex or Ashley Hay Art, and then I will definitely get the notification and see it and be able to go, woohoo, look at that, that's awesome. So I hope this has inspired you for some creative play. It is wonderful to be back this year on Friday Live with you guys. And I'll just pop up the, so you can, that's the Creative Hub. And of course, you can actually watch on YouTube as well. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll, if you ring the bell, you'll get a little notification when I'm live, which will remind you to join. And of course, you can learn more about Powertex right there. So fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and hoping that you have enjoyed watching. Please let me know if there's anything that you would like to see on Friday Live. I would love to be doing things that my community is interested in. So drop a line in the comment just while we're finishing up here if there's something that you would love to see. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be focusing on Easy 3D Flex and showing you a little bit about the beautiful textures that you can create with this incredible medium. And of course, then once you get your textures down, then you can play with your Liquid Powers on them, like I do today. So have fun, have a wonderful creative weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I do really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye again.